Are we ready to admit that running backs are the second most important position on an NFL roster? All right. Because last offseason, or really beginning of the season, going into the preseason, they were trying to convince us that Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley were washed. They were trying to tell us it's a big mistake to pay all that money for a running back. They're trying to tell us that you can plug and play any running back you can possibly find and it will make a difference to your team because they make no difference to your team. That's what they're trying to convince us. This season proved them wrong. And I'm so happy because that doesn't do anything to the game. It doesn't make the game any more fun or any more appealing when you have positions that you're always going to see on the field on every offensive snap and say they don't matter. They could be an empty backfield, but they're going to be somewhere. Running backs are going to be somewhere because they're important. They're vital to your formation, to how you gain yards, how you can set up the play action. Come on, man. Come on. Because they were saying Derrick Henry wouldn't matter, that he's washed, right? And now Derrick Henry is a crutch to Lamar's MVP campaign, right? Saquon Barkley, deservingly so, is in the MVP talks. What are we doing? What are we doing? Right? So I just hate that. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's I'll use up my glasses on. I just reposition my glasses. That's funny. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like some propaganda so other teams can get running backs on the low without paying them. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe some analytics or GMs or someone out there were like trying to set the market and reset the market for running backs and be like, listen, after I forgot who it was for the Rams with Jared Goff when he was there, they paid him a bunch of money and then he kind of flamed out. I don't know if that was Todd Gurley or not, but there's been situations where there's been multiple running backs in which they gave the bank to and they underperformed, got heavily injured, and ultimately were not on their team anymore after a couple of seasons, right? Zeke Elliott being another one. So I understand trying to reset the market. They're going to do with all the positions outside of quarterback. But you can't get away with it when you see in broad daylight them leading MVP talks or being a part of MVP talks. Like Christian McCaffrey was a big MVP leader last season. He's a running back, right? And I know a lot of people saying he should have won it. But here's the thing. What stopped him from getting MVP was when Lamar Jackson went to them. I think it was like the day after Christmas or Christmas or something. It was something. It was some kind of seasonal game. And he whooped the shit out of the team. He single-handedly dismantled. The defense did a lot of work too. But Lamar Jackson went in there and dismantled that 49ers defense. He was out here at All-Pro, Pro Bowl player Fred Warner, pointing at him mid-run saying, you can't get me. Proceed to juke the shit out of him and get more yards. That's why Christian McCaffrey didn't win MVP, because Lamar Jackson beat him, right? Regardless, he was a huge part of the MVP discussion. He was on the Madden cover, like, this year. Like, running backs matter a lot to your offense. If anything, the thing that's really hindering some of these rookie quarterbacks is that they don't have good running back play, if we're being honest. And a lot of that's predicated on your receivers being able to block. You have a good tight end, a run blocking tight end. And you also have a good offensive line that can run block as well. There's a lot of things predicated. There's a lot of things that are involved with a running back finding success, just like any other position. A quarterback can't get his stats if a receiver constantly drops the ball or he has no one to throw to, right? Like, so everyone's dependent on each other. That's the thing that's beautiful about football, is that everyone is dependent on the other player being able to do their job. Running backs are very vital because when you have a good running day, it opens up your playbook to 100%, right? Because now a defense has to, because here's the thing, a defense has to have for those that don't know, or those are, I know I did a couple of football videos and a lot of people are out of the country and they watch football. So I really want to kind of break it down in a certain way. sometimes you need personnel in there to match what the defensive personnel needs to match where the offense is going out with. Because, for example, let's say it's a running. Let's say, like, for example, you're facing Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. You know there's a good chance if Derrick Henry's in the game, he's going to get the ball rushing. If you do not have your backers in there and some big ass linemen in there to stop that run, Derrick Henry's going to house because corners are not going to be able to tackle. Very few cornerbacks can tackle Derrick Henry. And even if they do, there's a good chance they won't be able to do it consecutively while also guarding the best receiver in the league or the best receiver on the team anyway, right? At the same time. So you need to match personnel. That's why you need linebackers, you need certain things. But when that happens, and it's actually not a running play, it's a play action pass, and then you have a mismatch where you have like Mark Andrews on a run stopping linebacker, not really someone you would put in coverage linebacker, right? Mark Andrews is probably going to be open. And we've seen that happen again and again and again throughout the season. There's a reason why Mark Andrews looks like he's always wide open, or at least like sometimes he's just wide open, is because sometimes there's a mismatch. And also Mark Andrews is just that good. So, and that all of that stems from the fact that Derrick Henry is a legitimate threat. And that him rushing so well and having so many yards per an attempt it opens up the playbook. It opens up the RPO, run pass option. It opens up Lamar run the ball. Lamar run the ball opens up Derrick Henry run the ball. Both of them being a threat to run the ball creates mismatches on the defense and mismatched personnel and lets Zay Flowers get open. Let's Mark Andrews get open. Let's Mark Andrews do a fake block to a route, right? There's so many if you have a great offensive coordinator, whoever's doing your play calling, if they're good at what they do, they can create so many different ways for you to get the ball. And I think that's dope. That's really dope. So there are a lot of ways that running back can matter. And I hope that we understand that. I'm using Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson because that's just like the ultimate running team in my opinion. But we also have Saquon, who has like 2,000 rushing yards in the regular season. And it's like that for a reason, man. You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith on the outside. You have Jalen Hurts, who can also dash your defense with the run as well. And Saquon's just individually great. And they have one of the best O-lines in the league, if not the best O-line in the league, especially when it comes to running. So when you have stuff like that, and you're running back gashes teams for 2,000 yards in the season, it's going to be a lot easier to pass the ball because they know Saquon's single-handedly beating us and just gashing up these yards, and we have to stop him and force Jalen Hurts to throw. Well, when that happens, and you have RPOs, you have play action, it freezes your linebacker, it freezes your corners, and it freezes them just for a second because you're backpedaling at these high speeds and have to do all this stuff and read all these coverages and stuff that's going on. When stuff like that happens, it's like, oh, shoot, I got to figure out. And then, boom, it's too late. Sometimes that second's all you need when you have a great quarterback. So running backs matter, and we need to stop pretending like they don't matter. We need to stop pretending. Don't let people fool you because they want to reset the market or they just want to slander running backs or wherever the case may be. Running backs matter. And that's why Ashton Jeanty declaring for the draft, to me, is very smart because seeing the top teams in the league having great rushing attacks, I want me a great rusher too, especially one with fresh legs, and especially one where I can get on a rookie contract. Ashton Jeanty is going to get drafted top 10. He just is. So comment, like, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts down below. What you think of running backs, and who's your favorite running back ever of all time, and who's your favorite running back this season? This season it has to be Derrick Henry for me. Saquon's up there. But Derrick Henry for me, also like Richard Montgomery as well. All time is Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson, man, there was a time, bro, where the Vikings had no type of quarterback, and that every play was just running. Every single rushing attack you can possibly come up, every concept of running attack you can come up with, they ran Adrian Peterson and they won the game. That's how good Adrian Peterson is. So that's my take. But I'll see you on the next one. Peace.